Hi guys and welcome to episode 4 of To The Punch. I'm joined here today with Thomas McCaffrey. Thomas, how's things?
Not bad, Stephen. Just obviously my first one, obviously doing the podcast. A bit nervous, but see how it goes.
Aye, you'll settle down, no problem, mate. But as usual, we'll start off with the news, and there only really is one place to start this week, and that is in Los Angeles at the Staples Center, the Fury Wilder fight. Now, we watched this together. What did you think of the fight overall?
Well, I think, honestly, really up to the ninth round, I would say I couldn't see anything but Fury win, either maybe late stoppage or in points. That's the way it was going until we got that wee surprise package. We know we can happen in the heavyweight when Wilder landed that punch.
Yeah, it was right up to then. It didn't really look as if Wilder was going to get it. You know, Fury was making him look quite basic at times, wasn't he?
I would say he looked quite ordinary. He was easy to hit with a jab. He didn't look as if he had any control. I wouldn't say any round. It just looked quite. I would say it was quite embarrassing up to that point in my opinion.
Yeah, but as we know, there's with Wilder, he can change a fight on one punch. And when he first put Fury down, was it the 9th or the 10th round? I can't really remember. But when he put him down, you know, it kind of looked like the shot that put him down deflected maybe off his shoulder a bit. So, you know, it kind of, I don't know, I never get the feeling that was a big knockdown. And at that point, I was kind of going like, well, if that put him down, I hope Wilder doesn't land flush. But obviously, we've seen what happened in the last round. And could you believe it when he got up?
Honestly, I must have watched it 20 to 30 times, and it's still, every time I see it, I still can't believe it got up, to be honest. It's clean a shot, as in the momentum with the first shot was taking him down, it's clean a shot as probably where he was landed, and it's put many guys to sleep, but for it to go up to that, I was quite impressed.
Yeah, it was. We were actually sitting together. I was saying to you, I can't believe the refs counting, because here in Britain we're that used to seeing the refs just calling the fight off when it's that vicious a knockdown. But the referee did well, didn't he? Just to give Fury every chance to come back and get up.
Well, that's what you would need to say. Obviously, the referee did, definitely, because a lot of referees, I think, may have stepped in because his eyes looked pinned at one point, but he just kind of, as if he woke from a trance or a sleep or something, he just arose, and I was astonished, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's especially the way he carried on after the knockdown. I mean, I would say they took the rest of the round, and you know, it actually kind of reminded me of when Vlad got put down off AJ. You know, AJ kind of lost a bit of heart and seemed to have maybe gassed a wee bit in that fight, and Vlad pretty much took the rest of the round. It was kind of like that, you know. Wilder kind of looked disheartened, and Fury just kind of had his way with him for the rest of the 12th round, which was amazing in itself.
I think I'd agree with that, but I think Wilder was more obviously just as shocked as us that Fury got up, because it probably was a bit demoralising, realising he's probably landed two shots that probably put most heavyweights away, and thinking to myself, well, if he can take that, what more can I? Is there any way I can beat him? Because he couldn't win. He's not going to win a fight in points. What needs to probably going to be a knockout for if it's going to be a fight again in the future.
Yeah, it was. Did we? I know we always give Wilder a hard time for his the way his style of fighting. It's a bit unorthodox, etc. But I mean, Tyson Fury fought Vlad, and Vlad couldn't lay a glove on him for a full fight. You know, Deontay Wilder's put him in his back twice and very nearly got him out of there. You know, so maybe it's maybe like that unorthodox style a lot more effective than what Wilder gets credit for.
Well, obviously you need to give him. Obviously, we know the heavyweights. That's Wilder's game. You know what I mean? But I would say Fury, even the 9th round was obviously significant in the fight, because obviously ultimately it got him. Obviously, that split decision draw, but at the same time as where I think Fury kind of was showboating a wee bit too much at that point, and I think he was taking it a bit for granted. And I think, if looking back in hindsight for himself, I think he would maybe took that out. I understand it's part of his game, obviously it's mind games and that, but I think he's ultimately come and done obviously with that in the end.
Yeah, actually, when me and you were talking during the fight, we were saying that he actually was starting to maybe look a bit tired Fury, but it turned out that wasn't the case. You know,
Mm-hmm.
after he got knocked down, he upped it again, and I think he took the 10th. And I'd probably say that the round after he got knocked down the first time was probably his strongest round, and he went out and just showed that he still had plenty left in the gas tank.
That was quite surprising because we didn't know, obviously, after a big layoff, obviously, for 3 years or just about what it was, and then obviously losing all that weight, can obviously how quick he done it, can he get back to where he was maybe against Cutthroat, but I think he proved obviously he can still go 12 rounds, one of the best heavyweights in there. He's still got the desire to win, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So at the end of the fight, you're sitting there, and I kept saying to you all during the fight that American judges or fights in America, you never really see a defensive fighter except for Floyd getting the nod in rounds, and it was always a worry in the back of my mind going, although the guy that maybe be coming forward is getting scored as a ring for ring generalship, when in actual fact it should have been Fury's defence and elusiveness that should have been getting scored in the earlier rounds. So when the scorecards get read out, what did you think when you heard the 115, 111 judges scorecard?
Well, it's not. It was obviously it still is a shock, obviously the series thing, but sometimes you think it just kind of it's accepted in boxing now. But I still was obviously a wee bit doing a black bit because sometimes you ask yourself. So one judge has obviously he's got it 4 rounds, but obviously for Fury, and then you've got another judge that's got it 4 rounds for. So it's kind of that's like an 8-round difference, you know what I mean? And you've got one judge obviously straight in the middle, the draw. So the question you ask yourself, is this just going to continue to be accepted, or is these judges maybe going to need to get a statement, or they get some sort of punishment? That's what we need to ask. Can that be looked into in boxing?
Yeah. I'd heard something in another podcast, and it was Andy Patterson at the Boxing Asylum. He had a great suggestion about not letting judges be ringside, keep them in a booth in the arena without any commentary and a soundproof booth. So there's no influence for crowds, and there's nothing, and they're getting to see probably the best angle. Because I mean, I've sat ringside before, and a lot of times you miss a lot of the action. You know, there could be stuff in your way, and I think it gives the judges the best chance. Now, I wouldn't say that. I would say that scorecard is that ridiculous when you turn around and see how he scored the first 6 rounds. I think I don't even think did he even give Fury a round?
I'm sure that judge that scored it in Fury's favour. Wilder's favour. I think he gave the first 4 rounds to Wilder.
And I think he gave Fury 1 and 1 and 6.
We need to ask yourself, what is this judge? Obviously, what you would love to ask him. Obviously, we can't, but obviously, hopefully, they can get addressed at some point. But you'd love to ask him just what made you score these rounds to Fury, because I think that was the kind of basically. I'm not saying there's obviously but that's when the corruption. That's when that starts to get flagged up again, because you're asking yourself, what has he seen to give the rounds to Deontay Wilder, other than being the home champion?
Yeah, it's like that's every bit as bad as Adelaide Bird's scorecard. You know, it was that wide that you couldn't even put it down to incompetence. As you say, that's when it starts flagging up. Is it corruption? And as you brought up the point as well, like referees in football, you know, they can be liable, although they're maybe not liable in the public eye. They will then get demoted down to the lower leagues of football, and you know, to maybe learn their trade again, or maybe just disappear into obscurity. So it can be quite disturbing that these judges and referees, when the score fights that badly, you know, it kind of is damaging to the sport, and to think that they can just get away with it, you've got to think that are people complicit in this, you know, the governing bodies?
Well, you could look back to the history of kind of boxing, and it's been littered with these kind of fights, you know what I mean, where it's everybody can quite clearly see. You could use an example would be Evander Holyfield and Lennox Lewis. Lennox Lewis made a quote, and obviously we went to him. He was in the studio, and he says when that fight happened with Evander Holyfield, that when he didn't get that decision, that basically he realised that the only way to guarantee a win in America was by stoppage, and that's the kind of that just shows you how much confidence he's got in the judging system.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Tyson Fury says in the post-fight that that was every bit as bad is that, and I would agree with him. That card was really poor. I think even at a stretch, you would have walked away disappointed with a draw, but you would have accepted a draw. But to coming away with losing not losing the fight, but somebody scoring the fight that wide, it just doesn't sit right with me. It just you can't. It just doesn't feel right.
I'd agree. There's not really any way you can dress it up in that situation where you could maybe go, oh well, I could see that they rounds were hard to score, but you would say the first half of the fight was it was just total, just kind of counter punching domination. You know what I mean? Using his jab well, Fury. So it's just unbelievable how you can you just would love to know what was obviously decision making was when he was scoring the rounds.
After the fight, it just kind of seemed that no guy was really wanting to commit there in the ring to a rematch. It's maybe gathered a bit more momentum, but Frank Warren was saying that if they want a rematch, they're wanting it here in the UK, which I don't know if Wilder and that will agree to that. But do you think that we'll see a rematch of this?
Well, I think so. You know what I mean? It's just because they're at the stage now where, in my opinion, the two of them have kind of created a kind of an alliance, let me say, like, to kind of call Josh out, kind of force him in, force his hand. And I think this is where the rematch will happen, is because ultimately we've not had a winner for the first fight. Obviously, in maybe the public's eyes, there has been a winner, but obviously, as the scorecards have shown us, there's not a winner, so we've got a split decision draw. And I think that there's probably been a clause in the contract where if Wilder had beat, would have got the rematch. So I would say, in his heart of hearts, he knows we're still unfinished business here, and so does Fury. So I think that's the reason it will get a rematch.
Yeah, as you said, this is kind of it built maybe a wee bit more pressure on AJ and maybe his team than what we've actually expected it today. It seemed to have been quite a decent, quite a big success. This fight, obviously, we're not getting the numbers yet, but I mean, if you want to hear, it was over 17,000 in the arena, which is massive numbers. I do know that there was comps handed out, but still, I wouldn't imagine that it would have been too much. And the pay-per-views, well, the amount of people that I've seen speaking about it, it would suggest that it's done really well on the pay-per-view side. So, financially, it would make great sense for them to go. And it can only strengthen both of their positions when getting into negotiations with Anthony Joshua, which will inevitably happen at one time.
I would say that's definitely, ultimately, that's the goal is obviously to be the undisputed champion. And see, at the end of the day, if Anthony Joshua wants to become this undisputed champion, where he's going to need to sit down with his team and they're going to need to make this fight happen, because there's not going to really be much place left for him to go. And obviously, he's loved for the public now, Joshua, but we all know obviously reputations can be easily, the public's fickle, you know what I mean? So if he's backing away for this fight where they might lose a wee bit of respect within the boxing world and in the public eye, which ultimately is going to be damaging for the rest of his career.
Yeah, that's it. And AJ was out today saying that he's still pushing this narrative about. He was saying on Instagram, I think it was, he's like, I didn't get offered the Wilder fight, and he's like, but you make me out as if I'm scared of you. But then his promoter, Barry Hearn, one of his promoters, Barry Hearn, was saying that's why we didn't accept the 50 million to go and fight, because he would get screwed in America. So you got it right. So what was it? Did you not get offered the fight, or did kind of contradiction there for both sides? But he's saying he wants him for April. Do we believe any of that, or do we just think it's going to be either Chisora or White?
I think it'll be Chisora or White, but obviously time will tell. It just depends how. Really the ball kind of it still lies a wee bit with obviously Wilder, because at the end of the day where he could maybe think, can I beat Fury again? He might think to himself, don't give him the rematch, maybe if I can get the fight, he might agree to lesser terms with Josh. You don't know what you think is going to be, obviously, because he'll need to sit down with his team. Obviously, Wilder and make, ultimately, obviously, his team might tell him, avoid Fury a second time, we don't know.
That's a great point, because he must know in himself that he's lost that fight. And I think you could see after the fight, the reaction of his team, they were buzzing with a draw, so they weren't expecting a draw. they kind of realised they got away with one, and that could be how a rematch doesn't happen. Is it might mess up a mega fight with Anthony Joshua that everybody wants. So that could be the stickler for the rematch between Fury Wilder, and it might actually push on Wilder to try and force a deal with Anthony Joshua. And maybe, as you say, maybe even accept lesser terms, but overall it'll be more money than what he would make in a rematch with Fury.
Definitely. Two of them are more commercial, obviously, than I think that fight would make, obviously, financially, make them both from a lot more money. So I think another reason I think too is with Fury, not Fury, AJ might have obviously seen this fight with his team, and I think obviously it's gave him a good reading on the way. It's quite similar kind of size, man, you know what I mean? So I think it might actually, AJ might fancy his chances a wee bit more against Wilder now and seeing that fight, because it's the first time we've seen Wilder obviously basically need to chase a fight, you know what I mean, where he wasn't in a position where he was kind of in control, you know what I mean, he was doing a lot of, he was getting jabbed, obviously kept at distance, he couldn't land these big shots, so he was getting frustrated, you know what I mean, so I think maybe AJ's not the same as obviously as a kind of same boxer as obviously defensively as Fury, but he can fight at range and work obviously at a game plan, and I think that could be obviously a reason why he might want to take the Wilder fight now.
Aye. Well, another bit of action for the weekend was for Canada, and it was Adonis Stevenson fighting Gvozdyk. I mean, it's turned out to be quite an entertaining fight. It was quite good. Did you see any, or have you seen the knockout? Or?
I've seen the knockout in social media. I didn't actually get a chance to actually see the fight, but it looked quite a vicious knockout. Like you say, obviously we know there's been lasting damage, you know, and Adonis Stevenson is currently hospitalised, obviously, but I don't know obviously what made him come back, obviously, at this age. Adonis Stevenson, what was his first fight from?
No, I think he's in his 40s now.
41, you know? So it was quite a strange decision, you know what I mean? Obviously, we know he was quite dominant in this division, along with Andre Ward, but I was quite shocked when he actually came back to fight.
Yeah, it's mad because, I mean, I'll go back and talk about the fight in a wee minute, but I mean, it's mad that he's taking these kind of bigger challenges now at this stage of his life, when he spent the last maybe 4 years fighting nobody's. You know, it was rematches with Finfara, I think it was, you know, and nobody wanted to see that fight, but we got it. Whereas now his last two fights have been Badu Jack and Gvozdyk, and you're going, well, you're in your 40s now, surely you would date the other way about. You would fight the bigger names when you're fresher, and maybe fight the bigger names when you're still got a wee bit of youth on your side, and then kind of wind your career out. But I thought Gvozdyk, he came in with a great plan. You know, he wouldn't let Stevenson set his feet. Teddy Atlas was in his corner, which was brilliant. It was good seeing Teddy Atlas in there. He kept everything simple and just kept repeating the same phrases, like shouting in his face 5 times between rounds. It was great. But there was some dodgy refereeing in the second round when Gvozdyk put Stevenson down. The referee called it a slip, and it was a ridiculous decision. He caught a slip. It was a beautiful right hand. He walked Stevenson right onto it. Then later on, the referee returned the favour the other way when the ropes kept Gvozdyk up, and the referee just let them fight on. That should have been called a knockdown. But I noticed in that fight, and obviously hearing that Stevenson was in intensive care when I actually got to watch it, Stevenson's punch resistance didn't look anywhere near as good as it has before. It looked as if every shot was hurting him, and then, as you said, he'd get a brutal knockout. It was, he took a couple of shots like right flush when he was kind of out on his feet that way, that he's balancing up in the corner, and he was gone. Obviously, he's in an induced coma in intensive care. I suspect he bleed on the brain. It's hard to feel sorry for Stevenson with the stuff that he's did in the past. But when you're sitting watching the fight, you could see his missus ringside. So, and for what I hear, he's got a young family. So you just kind of hope that the damage isn't too much, and he can just hang them up now and go and have a decent life. But we're next for Gvozdyk after winning his title there.
Well, would ultimately, there's obviously two other champions, obviously in the division. It's Elder Alvarez, obviously that's a potential fight, and Bivol obviously is another option. So I think that's where we're looking to. I think looks quite a hungry fighter, and I don't think he's going to really fear anybody in that division. You know what I mean? Where I think he would fancy his chances, obviously, in either of those fights.
He looked like he doesn't do anything spectacularly well, but he does everything quite good, if you know what I mean. He's a really competent boxer. He actually reminds me of Badu Jack, and that could be a potential fight for him. He boxes like Badu Jack. He does everything well, but nothing spectacular. But just looking up in the rankings, you see Sergey Kovalev there, and I think Sergey Kovalev is. I think that's a fight that he would be looking to get made, hoping that he can get made, because that would be a way back into the titles for him. Do you think Kovalev's got enough left in the tank to cause Gvozdyk any trouble?
Definitely. I think it would be a fighter that he would kind of. He's probably known they're kind of for the same. Obviously, he's for Ukraine and Russia, so they might have actually probably knew each other, maybe growing up through the ranks and that. You know what I mean? So I think Kovalev would definitely, obviously, relish a chance, obviously, for an opportunity if he could get it, if it would arrive. I think he has still got enough in him where he could cause, obviously, harm Gvozdyk. I think that would be an interesting matchup.
Yeah. So there's not really a lot else I would say about that. I mean, other than that, it was good seeing Teddy Atlas back out. You know, it was. I thought he was quite funny in the corner, but when you actually listen to what he was saying, you know, he was talking sense. He was drumming it in. The Gvozdyk, not to get stuck. You know, not to get caught admiring his own work, land his punches and get out. And he was really causing. I thought he won pretty much every round. Maybe except for the one he nearly got knocked down in, but. Again, we were going to see some dodgy scorecards in that fight because if you what I'm hearing, I've not actually seen the scorecards myself, but I think one of the judges had Stevenson up and Wozniak and the other judge had a draw, which would have been ridiculous scorecards again. So, I mean, it looked as if we could have got two jobs done in one night there. But we'll move on later on in the news because we've spent a lot of time on just the first two things. So we'll move on. And last night, we heard that Amir Khan is on the verge of signing to fight Terence Crawford. That looks to be set for March. What do you make of that fight, Dan?
Well, it doesn't really get my imagination going well. You know what I mean? I think Khan's still got a bit of offer as a boxer, but just for the two of them, obviously, the two of their styles, I think he's kind of. I would fancy Crawford quite comfortably to get the decision, points decision. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to be fighting a kind of a money hungry man can, or he's kind of motivated for success. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of that fight.
Well, see, I'm quoting a crossroads here because I went and wrote an article about two fighters that I never wanted to see fighting again, and it was Amir Khan and David Price because more for their health than anything else. I'm always excited by Khan's fights. I like his style. I've always had respect for Khan. You know, his CV is superb. But now when you hear Amir Khan starting to speak, he's starting to slur his words a wee bit. And I think a fight with Terence Crawford is exactly what he doesn't need. He doesn't need him. But then again, to see him getting another one up in Kell Brook and Eddie Hearn, it would be funny. But then, you know, you've actually got to start thinking about a guy who's got a young family himself. Do you think that this is somebody should be telling Amir, no, this is what he doesn't need?
Obviously, he's definitely his team will better than him, obviously, but I think you just don't know, obviously, because you would need the question you ask. Obviously, you don't know what Amir can, obviously, because I genuinely don't think he's got enough fights in him, as you say, to become an air world champion. It's no. I just kind of see it, so I just don't see what the real point of this fight is then for Amir Khan, because surely he's made enough money in his career. So, as you said, maybe his team maybe need to tell him, you know what I mean? But it doesn't look like the fight, looks like the fight's got to be made, so we don't really, until we get that officially, then we'll take it from there.
For the other side of this, Terence Crawford, do you think this actually does anything for Terence Crawford? You know, legitimises him anything at all?
For me personally, I think it's still will be a fight that will be viewed. You know what I mean? It will attract to people. You know what I mean? Because American's still a big name, and obviously Terence Crawford, you know, he's undefeated and he's stepping up again. But I think it's just kind of a stopgap for me, particularly because he's probably going to wait to see how maybe the Mikey Garcia and obviously the fight goes obviously with Spence. So I think this is just really a kind of stopgap until he finds out where the other kind of fighters are in that division, and then he take it from there. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to really push him on as a fighter and earn them obviously a lot of credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, the rumours are that it was also offered to Danny Garcia, but you know he fights with PBC and Al Heyman, and obviously the promotional side of things, they want to deal with Top Rank. Heyman and Bob Arum are in a cold war just now. So, you know, one thing that worries me about Terence Crawford is that his career has got the potential never to really kick off at welterweight, for the fact that all the other welterweights, all the big names at welterweight, all fight with the PBC and Heyman. That's really just back to Bob Arum into a corner and try to find opponents for Crawford, I think. You know, so... But as you say, we can only wait to see when that gets announced, and then we can go back to it and talk about it then. But there was another bit of news that was kicked off last week. I seen it on Facebook and shared it on Twitter with folk, and it was the news that Ronnie Clark, who's the IBF European champion, was having to sell his IBF belt. You know, when I seen this, it kind of troubled me. I didn't like that. That's something somebody should keep for the rest of their life to mark their achievements. But when you read into the description on his eBay account, it turned out it's because he's been let down for a fight for his last 3 fights, and he had no money for Christmas presents for his kids. You know, it just kind of drove home the kind of how harsh boxing is for these small hall guys. You know, people think professional boxing, they think that these guys have got a lot of money, but the sad fact is like these guys pretty much live hand to mouth, and a lot of the time they don't even make money for their fights.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, you'd probably say, you don't know. I don't know the figures. I would be taking a rough guess, but you say it's 10% of the fighters are in the world are obviously they're making this big money, but then you need to, as you say, you've got your small obviously halls and towns and that. You've got these events and so on. So you really blind share obviously need to obviously kind of, pardon the pun, scrap to make a living, and obviously this game, you know what I mean, that's the way it is. It's like a dog eat dog, you know what I mean, scenario that obviously it's one of the things that hits home when you see obviously a guy obviously and a great achievement, which you should obviously, again, you say you want to keep that belt, but it's got that bad where he needs to actually try and sell that to pay for kids' Christmas present. That's when it really hits home. Yeah,
I should say that Tommy Coyle, big shout out to Tommy Coyle. Tommy got in touch with me and Ronnie and told him if he took his belt off of eBay, he would loan him the money. And I think Robbie Davis Jr. also got in touch and had sorted him out a sponsor who would front him money as well. So it was good to see the boxing community pulling together. But that's only one story. You know, that's one story. How many of these guys do you never hear about? And, I wrote an article about it, and I was saying in the article, how many of these guys chuck the sport? How many times has there been a guy that might have the potential to be the next Sugar Ray Leonard, and, you know, he's just maybe not a big ticket seller, and he just doesn't want the stress and the hassle of working through the ranks, and he just gave up. You know, it just seems like it's a bit too cutthroat in the small hall scene. With guys getting told how many tickets they need to sell. If they don't meet that quota, then they're pulled for the cards. But the tickets that they've sold, their family and all that, that's all bought the tickets. They've all still got tickets for now an event that their son or their cousins and that he's no longer party. It just seems as if it's quite harsh, and when you look at the top of the sport, it doesn't feel as if there's enough money trickling down to the smaller halls, because it eventually, if you keep abusing the grassroots, nothing will raise to the top. You know, if we've not got small hall, we won't have the big fancy events, or in Britain, we won't have the big 10, 20,000 arenas getting sold out. We won't have Wembley's getting sold out. You know, I think we need to start addressing this now, and I don't really know how they could do it, but I know that money is part of the answer.
Definitely. Well, I don't know if obviously there's if obviously some like the British Boxing Board of Control could maybe obviously intervene in these situations where there if there's like a kind of independent panel that can make a decision on obviously a boxer getting pulled for an event, or that there could be some sort of contract drawn up that protects the boxer. You know what I mean? We don't know. There's obviously maybe something could be done. You know what I mean? In this, because it's sad to see stories like this, and obviously as you say, we're only seeing maybe even, you know what I mean, there could be hundreds out there, you know what I mean, that nobody gets to hear these stories, you know what I mean. So if this could be obviously something that the Boxing Board of Control and the hierarchy in boxing could maybe address, it could maybe be beneficial for them in the long run, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I actually seen somebody suggesting a fund, you know, and having a, you know, your Wembley shows, and you're having a percentage took a tax took in and put into a pot. And as you say, I mean, I suppose that could be a way around it, is if the board then have a panel to decide certain fighters and maybe be able to help, or harsh cases, you know, if they're maybe just like a couple of £100 short selling a quarter of tickets, then they will give them a grant, you know, and pay the tickets for them and letting the lads fight, rather than just not fighting, you know.
Just get pulled for cards,
yeah, and you know, that's got to take a toll on guys mentally. And then you think about your next fight, is it Ronnie Clark? That's 3 fights. He's been pulled for it. He's really not happy with Frank Warren. When I was reading an interview, you know, he beat one of Frank Warren's top prospects in Zelfa Barrett for that title, and he says that he's not spoke to Frank Warren since. So he's been kind of cast aside. You know, he won a fight that he wasn't supposed to win, and he's been punished for it. And that there is a story of a journeyman. You know, there's a skill to being a journeyman. To be a good journeyman, you're not supposed to win. You're supposed to let prospects beat you, but just give them rounds and kind of look good, but not too good. Well, Ronnie Clark's was a guy who didn't believe he was a journeyman and went into that fight and won it. You know, and it feels as if he's been maybe punished for it, you know. So that's quite sad to see. But unless you've got anything else to say, Thomas, we'll move on to the previews.
No, well, last thing probably I'd like to add in that situation was sometimes, obviously, as you said, where if this is 3 times it's happened to him, obviously, in his last 3 fights, and boxers, obviously, we know what happens to, obviously, we just talking. So, what you need to ask yourself is sometimes that they can't get a chance to obviously prepare for the fight even as they would like, because in the back of their mind they've got this worry of selling enough tickets and they've been pulled for last fight. So ultimately, obviously, sometimes that can be just added pressure they don't need in preparation for a fight, you know what I mean?
But we've got a couple of big fights coming up, so let's move on to the preview side. This is wrecking my mind. Oh, can it be? Voices calling me, they get lost in and out of time. I should have seen it glow, but everybody knows that a broken heart is blind. First up, we're going to preview Cal Frampton's fight with Josh Warrington. This is a fight I'm actually been buzzing about. How do you see this one going, Tom?
Oh, well, the last time I seen Warrington when he beat Selby, it was I fancy Selby that night, if I'm going to be honest, you know what I mean. I know Warrington is his work rate's really good, you know what I mean. He's fit, he's quite strong, you know what I mean. I wouldn't say he's pure great knockout power, but he's quite a tricky opponent, you know what I mean. But I still thought obviously Selby would have been able to think him at boxing, but ultimately he had a quite slow start, Selby, kind of, and he got a bad cut, if I can remember right, above his eye, and that obviously played a big factor. But I think he was I think he probably underestimated Warrington a wee bit, and I hope Frampton doesn't do the same, you know what I mean, because I've heard a lot of talk on social media, Frampton saying that he's fought better people and he's fought at a higher level. That's all fair and good, but at the same time as we might not know Josh Warrington's full potential, you know what I mean. So because he's proved, obviously, it was I would say it was probably a bit an upset, not an out and out obviously shot, but it was still an upset in the boxing world. So I hope, like Frampton, I just hope he doesn't take this fight lightly. Yeah.
Well, that's the biggest thing with this fight for me is, I mean, I never rated Josh Warrington. He was always somebody I just thought, he's good, but he's never going to make it to a decent level. And every single time, he's proved me wrong. And now I've actually started to become a wee bit of a fan of Warrington's. He's a massive ticket seller, one of the biggest ticket sellers in British boxing, to be honest with you. And I mean, in that last fight against Selby, I was the same. Again, even though I was kind of coming round to Warrington's work ethic in the ring, and he'll never give up, and he'll just all action. I was like, somebody like Selby should be able to pick him off. But that night, I don't know if it was down to Selby being weight behind the whip, but you can't keep making excuses why Warrington wins. Warrington won because he was better, and and I would like to see he goes in and give Frampton a good fight. But I mean, as much as I do like Warrington's won me round, I'm a massive Cal Frampton fan. As Frampton says, he's fought at the highest level against your Leo Santa Cruz's and that. But do you think that Cal Frampton is still there? That elite level Cal Frampton, or is maybe age and inactivity for the couple of years we missed him? We missed the best of him.
I don't know. No, I'd still say he's still got some. I'd say this is a fight I'd still edge towards him. You know what I mean? When I say it's a fight that he's like a cert to win. You know what I mean? But I would still, if I was to put any, if somebody was asking me to put a kind of to pick one, it still would be Frampton. I think he's still got another 2 or 3 fights in him at that level. You know what I mean? I think he's definitely still got something to offer.
Obviously, this is coming. It's another BT pay-per-view, and it's coming at the back just a few weeks after Wilder Fury. So the build-up for this is maybe no being as intense because of the heavyweight fight that was coming before it. But do you think maybe like the BT and Frank Warren have took it easy in this because they know it's going to do big numbers because both are massive ticket sellers? But I mean, Frampton will probably fill half of that arena with just these fans coming from Belfast. Never mind these fans that he's got around the UK. And then Warrington, he's bringing pretty much like the full of Leeds with him. So it feels like a wee bit like Frank Warren's maybe he's neglected the promotion of this.
As you say, well, maybe that's the reason he did, you know what I mean? Because he's obviously knows the demand for, obviously, the tickets for a fight with Frampton and Warrington when they're fighting ended, but put the two in together and maybe just thought well, the fight sells itself. There's no really, the promotional side doesn't need as much as maybe, obviously, his air fights with the Fury and Wilder fight, where he's obviously, that was his kind of, his pinnacle, you know what I mean? This is his kind of ace card, you know what I mean? Fury, signing Big Fury up, you know what I mean? So maybe that's the reason he's obviously, as you said, he's been doing that avenue.
Yeah, well, as I said, we all know that the heavyweight division historically has always been the money division. Not a lot of people, only the boxing fans and fans of the individuals like Frampton, who's got a full of Belfast behind them, or the full of Northern Ireland behind them. And then you've got like Warrington with like just a football. He links it back to the Leeds United football team. They'll maybe make money, but usually in the smaller weights, there's not really a lot of money. So maybe Frank's just not wanted to put the money into the promotion if he doesn't know it's getting it back. And that kind of moves us on to the next point, because on the same night, Dillian White is going to take on Derek Chisora on Sky's pay-per-view. This is it's a rematch. The first fight was on the undercard. Now it's headline and it's in pay-per-view. What did you think of the first fight, and what have you thought of the build up to this one?
Well, obviously back to the first fight, where it was a good fight. You know what I mean? It was quite similar in style, but I would say obviously Dillian White maybe he's got a wee bit more technical ability in Chisora. Chisora's maybe a slugger, you know what I mean? But I'm not, to be honest, you know what I mean? I don't know what they'll choose about the situation, but I'm not really, I don't know if it's really a pay-per-view main event fight for me, you know what I mean? Where it's a good fight you would like to see, but I don't know if the man's going to be so obviously big for this, you know what I mean? So I don't know how this one could play out.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely spot on. This is a case when Eddie Hearn has actually agreed pay-per-view dates and no pay-per-view fights. He's found himself in a position where he has to try and find a fight to fill a date rather than working the other way about. The full concept of pay-per-view is to make a fight that you wouldn't otherwise be able to make happen. There is absolutely no reason why Dillian White and Derek Chisora couldn't have fought again. You know, it's greed. And I think that the pettiness here is putting it the same night as Frampton Warrington, just a few days, you know, a week before Christmas. I think it just shows contempt for boxing fans, you know, because they know that people will buy it, and you know, a lot of us will actually pay for the two of them and just skip between or what have you. You know, it just feels quite snide. And as you say, I don't think it's a pay per view event. You know, it's if we got to a stage now where Dillian White, who's no even challenged for a world title, is now a pay per view star because that's his last two fights been on pay per view. I don't think that we can class that. It just seems that he's got a fan base that will pay, so therefore they will be paying, rather than let's put him in against you know, let's get him in against somebody.
I think maybe Eddie Hearn's obviously, you don't know what goes on behind the scenes sometimes in boxing, but maybe obviously he's got him and he's got Anthony Joshua, so you don't know if he's asking him, if you can do this for me. You don't know how much if Dillian White maybe wanted this fight, you know what I mean? He might have been pulling in their direction, but Eddie Hearn's obviously got a lot of the A side, you know what I mean? So maybe he's forced Dillian White's hand. He goes, you fight this for me, and I can maybe in 2019 I'll get you a big fight, you know what I mean? He can tie something down. Maybe that's the route it's went down, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it was you know, it has been said before that Dillian White's been used as a blocker for AJ. That's used to be the argument when Wilder came up. If you fight Dillian White first, then you can get AJ. Where you go, well, that's not unification. You know, Deontay Wilder's a world champion and he's in right. He doesn't need, you know. And I think that Dillian White has served a purpose for Eddie. And you know, you can't really knock Dillian White. To be fair, it's not his fault. And every time Eddie Hearn stepped him up, you know, he's beat the guy. You know, he beat Parker. He done well to beat Parker. You know, I don't think that Dillian White's progress that much for when AJ beat him. What I would say is he's probably in better shape physically than what he was in. He's probably taking boxing as a career, as his proper career now, rather than just seeing where it takes him. And I think that's what we're seeing, because I don't see him actually improving technically. He still has all the same flaws. He's easy to hit. He can't throw with a right hand, you know. So it's just. Yeah, so that's what I think with Dillian White.
Well, another thing I would say in this the Dillian White situation was obviously, what year was obviously fought? They fought, was it 2013? Was it 14?
I can't
It's in
remember.
that region, but I'd say obviously his fights obviously after that. I think maybe the last time there was a lot of obviously it was getting a bit heated and there was a wee bit of obviously rivalry there between the two, you know what I mean? So I think if he get another chance at AJ, I'm not saying obviously the end's going to change in the result, but I think he might address his fight a wee bit different and kind of fight his strengths a wee bit more, you know what I mean? I think he knows against AJ he's probably going to need to get the knockout, you know what I mean? So he might actually just kind of try and buy sell into the fight against AJ, come up with a different game plan, but ultimately obviously White Chisora too, doesn't get the juices flowing like other heavyweights and other matches he's made recently. So for me, it's not a pay-per-view event. I was quite actually shocked, obviously, that they get put forward for this.
Yeah, well, obviously we've just spoke about Dillian White, but if we found guilty of them, Mestis did that last time and looking over Chisora, because Chisora, we thought that was maybe one last big performance that he had in himself was when he fought White, and I actually thought he done enough. I thought White maybe have just get the home corner nod because it was a close fight. If I didn't see Dillian White winning that fight, but it was a great fight. It was a good close fight, so there's no problems. You won't be calling it a robbery. It was a good close fight. I just disagreed with how it ended. But the last time out there, we seen Chisora knock Takam out. You know, Takam looked as I thought before that fight that Takam would have just been too mobile and too active for Chisora, but Chisora just shows that when he's on his game, when he can be bothered, he's still a good gatekeeper. You know, he's good for.
He's a good measuring stick. You know what I mean, to see where you're at in your career. You know what I mean, he's not a fighter. I think he's only ever been stopped once, obviously, and it was off that David Day, if I remember right. He's went the distance. I think he went the distance with Vitaly Klitschko. So he's had obviously he's been around the block, you know what I mean. He's tried and tested at that the kind of elite level of heavyweight. So you kind of know what you've got to get in this fight, but at the same time is where you don't see how it's going to really progress down White. You're not really going to. You're not going to say, all right, now he deserves an AJ shot. Now it's going to kind of. I think it's a fight that doesn't really kick him on in his career. Then you know what I mean. I don't think it does much good for him, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling it's been made because that was all they could get made. If you know, that was how it felt. It didn't feel like this was the fight that they wanted. We get told just after the first fight, the Chisora wanted it a pay-per-view, and Eddie Hearn was actually telling us that this fight isn't a pay-per-view fight. Now, granted, Dillian White's headlined his own pay-per-view event since then and won a couple of fights, but nobody's telling me that makes him now a pay-per-view fighter, and that makes this now a pay-per-view fight. At the end of the day, it's still two very limited guys who have not really accomplished nothing in the division as per se, like being a champion.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see where the big... I don't see why that pushes him on, why this isn't a Sky Sports fight, but I suppose it is what it is. So, but let's move on to a prediction for it. How do you see it going?
I'd say probably. I think Chisora will be able to stick with him maybe the first 6 to 8 rounds, but I think this time for me, I think White might finish him, you know what I mean? Maybe going into the championship round, you know what I mean? I think there could be a stoppage this time, but at the same time as where even if he still gets a stoppage, it doesn't really. I don't think he's going to command the respect of the heavyweights for taking this fight on.
I think that's exactly it. I don't know. I still think White will win. I agree with you there. I don't know if he'll get the stoppage. I don't know if Chisora maybe still just got that pure warrior in him to see the fight out. But if it's half as good as the last fight, then it should be good and entertaining, you know. But I will only be watching this over Frampton Warrington. And just to jump back to Frampton Warrington, I don't think I asked you for a prediction for that.
Well, I don't know. If I was going to say, if I needed to plant my flag to him last, I would need to say I would go for Frampton, but I still think Warrington could cause the upset, but I think Frampton points if I was pushed for an answer.
Yeah, I'm the exact same. I think Frampton's just going to be able to outbox him. We'll beat him to the punch. The only thing I would maybe be worried about is later on is if Frampton starts to gas, because Warrington he'll just keep a high pace, and you know he's got a great engine in him. So you know that will be Warrington's game plan. I think he'll be to come out and make Frampton fight every second of every round, and hope that he can kind of get to him later on in the fight.
I'd agree totally with that, because I think that's his way of winning the fight. Because I think if Frampton gets split to settle into a rhythm and picks the first few rounds off, it's going to be hard for Warrington, because then it becomes obviously him chasing the fight. But if he can obviously do a similar game plan to the Selby fight and he can win the first couple of rounds, where then we need to see Frampton obviously on his feet and be proactive and try and come up with a solution to beat Warrington. So that's what makes it a good matchup, nice.
Yeah. Well, now this is where I move on to another segment of the show, and it's called Must See. This is where we kind of pick something out for the media or anything boxing at all. You know, it can be anything at all that you want to talk about in boxing, that you've maybe seen over the last week or whatever, and just to point out and other people can go and watch it. So I'll kick it off for the day. I watched today on Amazon Prime. There was Forever Champions documentary. I think it was from the 80s, but it was brilliant. You know, it was going back to the golden era. Heavyweight boxing, your Ali's, Joe Frazier, George Foreman in there, Ken Norton was in there as well. And they had them all in the ring at the same time. They were all joking with each other and talking about the fights, and it was great. It was brilliant to see. Kind of went through all their full careers. It was brilliant to see. So I'm saying if anybody's got Amazon Prime, that's one to go and look out for. Have you seen anything at all, Tam, that you would like?
I like watching some of the stuff you can get, and obviously the boxing greats. It's kind of on Sky Sports. I enjoy cutting them. So if you ever, obviously, I think you get them on. Obviously, they're
On demand, is
on
it?
demand. You can go in and watch some of them. Some of them are interesting. Obviously, I think a lot of customers might have seen them. Obviously, subscribers, but it is, if you ever get a chance, I'd say they're quite interesting.
Alright, right, and so that'll be us finishing the show then. We will be editing on an interview on at the end of this. So, Tam, thanks very much for giving us your time, and hopefully get you back on again.
Nah, no problem, Stephen. Happy to help.
Right, cheers, guys. A few weeks ago, I interviewed Jamel Herring, former US Marine, former US Olympian, and soon to be world title challenger. So here it is. Hi, Jamel.
Speaking.
Yeah, how's it going, mate?
It is going good. How's it going up here?
Yeah, all good, all good. I was having a bit of problems. It was I wasn't putting the right area code in to get the USA, so it was a rookie mistake.
Oh, it's alright. It's alright, man.
I just wanted to. I've been just reading up a bit about you, Jamel, and I've been a bit intrigued. So I was just looking to see if I could kind of tell your story, and I'll write it out for the website, and I'll edit this. I'm recording this just now, and I'll edit this into your podcast as well, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 seconds, just to get my questions up. Yeah, you were raised in is it Coram, New York? It's called.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What was it like growing up there?
It was all crazy at times, but it could be peaceful. But I try to basically stay with the street life because I've seen a lot of my friends get involved in some things they shouldn't have been doing growing up at a really young age. So that's why I found sports to keep me busy and away from that type of lifestyle.
Yeah, and how did you get into boxing? Is that what got you into boxing? Was to keep away from the street life?
At first, when I was younger, I actually started playing football. Football over here on our end. That was basically my first sport that introduced me to being an athlete and things of that nature. So, but boxing came probably maybe like years later, actually in a row. I was probably about 15, 16 years old when I started boxing.
Yeah. So were you quite the athlete in school?
I was a quick learner because I started amateur boxing, as you can see, a bit late. Even with my military career and going into the future, I still had to play catch up, which I eventually, did well enough to make it to the game. So, like I said, I was just a fast learner.
Yeah. So when you left school, was it just did you go straight into the US Marines, or did you have a bit of a layoff in between?
No, right after high school, I went straight into the U.S. Marine Corps. And, I was still 17 years old, matter of fact. So I had my 18th birthday, during boot camp. So yeah, I went straight from high school to the Marine Corps.
Yeah. And how did you find settling into military life? Because it's completely different. It's so structured and so everything's to a time scale. And how did you find that?
I think the military lifestyle and mindset it helped me. It helped me strengthen my mentality overall. And that's what I try to implement with my boxing today. Is that military background that I have developed in my past. So I always take that from what I learned in the past, and I bring it and I put those together while I'm in the ring.
So when you joined the US military, is that when you got a bit more serious about boxing?
Actually, no. I'm being honest because when I started my military career, I was actually I thought I wouldn't have enough time for boxing, so I started focusing more on what I was doing in terms of the Marine joined the All Marine Corps boxing team. I started, getting back into boxing, and even then, I wasn't too much, looking at, going pro at the Olympics because I thought I was going to be basically pulled back from the team. And it wasn't until at least 2011 when I had basically made the USA team and started qualifying, to get to the Olympics when I started really taking it more serious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, obviously you were in the US Marines during a time of war. What like was it going over to Iraq? What kind of eye opener was it doing your tours over there?
I think the time of war is what basically took a lot of my attention away from boxing because like as you would know, that takes up a lot of your time. You have to focus on what's going on when you're in a war zone. So like that, boxing had to basically take a back seat. I mean, boxing was always still in my heart, but at the time when I was thinking, all the warring going on over there in the Middle East, I thought I would never be able to basically get back into boxing like the way I wanted to. But fortunately for me, I was lucky to return back, safe and sound, and fortunate to continue boxing. But I had to basically start all over again because, like I said, I had to pick up where I left off from and catch up with everybody else.
When you come back for the Middle East, how did you find resettling? Because I've had friends come back from there and they found it difficult to get back into the normal life, if you will call it that, back into usual life. How did you find the transition coming back?
It took a while. It took a while. It wasn't easy, but like I said, I was determined, to get back into it because I wanted to basically, better myself in boxing because back then it's like the better you were on a team, the better your chances of you sticking around to stay on the team. So it took a while, but once I got to the groove of things, I had to basically, I started like studying the amateur system a lot more than what I did in the past. As you know, the amateur system is a lot different from the pro system. But I had, like I said, I had to study the amateur system a lot better, in order to adapt and keep up with what was going on at the time of boxing. But it took a while, but eventually I got the hang of things, and I started moving up in the ranking to the point where I qualified for the Olympic team.
Yeah, I was just I was checking that up today, and I was just wondering because I seen obviously you were doing the military Olympics as well. How did you think? Was there any difference between like army boxing, the army competitions, and actual real amateur competitions like the AIBAs?
I'm saying it again.
Was there like any difference? I seen that you were in the military Olympics as well. Was that right? If I read that.
Oh yeah, the military world games. Yeah, the military world games.
Yeah, and I was just wondering, is like the military amateur boxing? Is it the same level as like the your usual Olympic, like the normal amateurs?
Oh yeah, I can say so because if you take notice, a lot of the guys, especially over there in Europe, a lot of them that are very good in amateur boxing are already they too have a military background. A lot of them that were in the military themselves over there in Europe and around the world was actually some of them qualified for the Olympic Games as well. So if anything, I was getting like a head start of things in terms of getting that international experience. And and making relationships with guys from all over. So yeah, it wasn't too much of a difference. If anything, like I said, you can tell those guys probably are a lot more disciplined than other athletes in the Olympic Games. But in terms of experience, a lot of them, like I said, a lot of those top Olympians from all over had also had a military background as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, Nigel Benn is one of the most famous ones for over here. He came for the British Army into pro boxing. But I was just going to ask you, how did you find that? How did the transition go for amateurs into the pro scene when you finally made the step into pros?
How did the transition go from amateurs to the pros?
Yeah.
It was different. It was different because, like I said, my style was a lot different than amateurs. My style was basically, fixated with getting to the point. At the time, it was after the 2004 Olympic Games when we started seeing them removing the headgear again and basically going towards like a pro style. Well, when I was basically in amateurs, and everything was point, point, point. So, going into the pros, it was different because I had to basically, start sitting down on my punches more, not rushing my shots, not, basically had to, tone down the punch count from tiring myself out as I went on with more and more rounds, I suppose. But like I said, if you're really serious and it's something that you really want to do, you're gonna basically, take it seriously and you're gonna work at it. So over time, it got easier, but from the time for me in the amateurs and going into the pros, it was definitely a whole different look.
Yeah. Yeah, well, see when you've made the transition from military to amateurs to the pros now, do you still get the same enjoyment? I mean, because when you're doing it for the military, you're either doing it for your battalion or you'll be doing it for your country, against other military. So do you still get the same enjoyment in pro now that it's a business and a way of making a living?
Yeah, of course, because overall, I love the sport. I love the sport as a whole. Overall, amateur and pro, I still support the amateur system now. As you can see, I'm doing really well right now as a pro, and I'm enjoying what I'm doing. My main goal is has always been to represent the Marine Corps well, whether it's amateur or pro. So I get the same enjoyment when I was an amateur trying to get to the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, I seen in your last fight that you picked up the IBF USBA title. Have you? I seen you've picked up the IBF. Is it the American title?
Oh yeah, yeah. I picked up a title under the IBF body, the USBA title.
Yeah,
I picked that up. So I should be, obviously getting ranked soon, and within, to basically qualify to compete for, the IBF title. But right now, honestly, my I put my promoter Bob Allen. He gave me other few options with other technical bodies, and one of them, of course, was WBO.
yeah.
So right now, we're just gonna take our time to look at things. But 2019, I will be competing for a world title.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, Bob's obviously got his ESPN deal, and he's got a lot of TV dates to fill. So that's got to look good for you, for guys like yourself. You've got a lot of TV dates to fill. So if you can impress, there's a big opportunity there for you to become a star.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, with the ESPN platform over here in the States, that's a big thing because pretty much every TV has ESPN.
So just to finish up, what is your aim in the next 12 months? Where do you want to be in a year's time?
Say that again.
Where do you want to be in a year's time?
What I want to be in the U.S.
In a year's time, in 12 months.
Oh, the year's time. Of course, like I said, of course I want to be world champion, but I want to be unify. That's a big thing now. A lot of guys, of course, with all these technical fights are just picking up titles, and you see that as well. They pick up titles, but then they're like fighting not the other big stars. I don't want to be I don't want to be that guy. I want to be a world champion that unifies with other world champions. So that's what we're working on. That's the plan with dealing with Bob Allen and everything. So a year's time, I guarantee I'll be a world champion. But like I said, I want to be in those big fights where I can unify other world titles.
Well, we'll be rooting for you anyway, mate. And thanks very much, Jamel, for giving us your time.
Oh yeah, of course, no problem. Like I said, for those who don't know, I'm coming back to the ring December 14th in Corpus Christi, Texas. To complete my year. But like I said, in early 2019, I will be fighting for a world title, and hopefully you and I will speak again.
Right, we will do. Well, that was Jamel Herring handling the Scottish accent like an absolute boss. That's all we've got for this show. I know we've ran over the 1 hour mark, but I didn't want to cut too much out of the Jamel Herring interview. I've been Stephen Donnell, and you guys have been fantastic. Thanks for joining us again. Cheers.